Hey there, Drew here, and welcome back to the Drew Saur coaching channel. This is your first time here, thanks for joining us. This channel is for those of us who want to have stellar careers with a little less stress and, if we can, a bit more fun. My job is to bring you ideas that'll help you look at your career in a new way. I promise that if you try them out, you'll start to see the professional world differently. And more importantly, they'll start to see you differently. So this video is part of my series on relationships and team building. Because to get anywhere in our career, we need some help. It's really hard to do it all by ourselves. So the question we're trying to answer here is, can I gather the right resources? And today I want to talk specifically about how to leverage your network to find the hidden job market. Because most people have heard of the hidden job market. These are jobs that just aren't posted. So how do you get access to them? And a lot of people ask me, what do I do? My network isn't robust enough. And typically that's because the network is mostly peers, maybe more people junior to them, but they don't have a lot of people in their network who would be in a position to actually have jobs that they would want. So I'm going to take you through today is a 5-step process for building that professional network. And I'm going to show you how that starts to get you access to the hidden job market. So the first thing is you need to find some people to talk to, right? And the way to think about this is you want to pick people in the sort of domain or industry that you're interested in and who have much more senior roles than you, right? They don't necessarily need to be the hiring manager per se. It's almost better to go even higher. So if you're a director, maybe try to find an SVP, right? VPs are good, but maybe an SVP would be better. A head of risk management would be even better, right? You want to find somebody who is higher up and kind of can give you a perspective, because what we're going to try to do is get in touch with them, right? So pick a domain. Again, I'm just using the example of risk management for here. Look down LinkedIn, find a few things in your industry and get a few names of people in those roles. So that's number one, is find some people you might want to talk to. Step number 2 is ask for an informational interview. And this is key. You're not looking for a job, right? If you go to somebody and say, hey, do you have a job? And they don't know you, the conversation is dead. They really have no interest because they have people they know who they would help if they could. So why would they help a stranger, right? So these are informational interviews. So the way you do that is you reach out to them. You can sort of cold message them on LinkedIn. You can send an invite. If you know their email, you can just reach out and say, hi, so-and-so. I see that you're the head of risk management for this firm. I'm very interested in the risk management space and looking to learn more about some of the key risks and challenges in running large organizations. Something like that. Would you have 15 or 20 minutes of time where I could ask you some questions? I would be much appreciated. Thank you, Drew. Right? Very short and sweet. And all you're saying is, would you be willing to give me 15 or 20 minutes of your time so I can ask you some questions? Right? Now, is everybody going to say yes? Not really, but more than you probably think. So you've sent it out to 10 people. I almost guarantee you'll get 2 or 3 to say yes. You may even get 5 or 6, right? Depending on how well you write that opening introductory message. The more specific, the better it is. But if you're not getting responses, tweak your message, make it more personal, but just talk to more people, right? So that's step number 2. So 1 is, who do you want to talk to? Who do you think would have perspectives that would be helpful? 2 is you need to reach out and talk to them. Step 3 is come with interesting, specific, and targeted questions. So I just used risk management as the example. You actually get a meeting with the head of risk management for a financial service firm, right? So you don't want to ask generic questions about, so tell me about what it's like being in risk management, right? Well, what do you think, are important skills I should have if I'm trying to have a career in risk management? Those are good questions, and if somebody's really nice, they will answer them for you, but you can also Google those. You could find someone at a different level that could answer those questions. So you have time with a more senior person. You want to make it as specific as possible. Oh, I read on your website that you are addressing these kind of risks in the financial market today. I was wondering, what are the top priorities you have in the next 6 months to address those risks, right? Do some homework, do some research, look at their LinkedIn profile. What are the things that they talk about? What are the things that they focus on? And say, here's a question based on you, your role, and your experience that I really need to ask you. I want your specific opinion as opposed to something generic I could be asking anybody. So find questions that are very specific. They show you've done your homework and that it's a good question for this individual to answer. And that's, again, we're not talking about jobs now. That's all you do. You find the names, you reach out to them, you get a good contact, then you go in and you ask your 15 or 20 minutes of questions, right? 2 more steps. So one, and when you're done with the interview, you simply say, is there anybody else I should talk to? Right? You're trying to get other names. And what you can do is say, thank you for your time. This was really helpful. It really helps me understand some of the key challenges that are being, dealing with in this space, in this industry. Is there anybody you think I should talk to get even more perspectives? Right? Anybody I should reach out to, etc. Right? What you're doing is looking for names. Because if you get those names and you talk to John Smith, who's the head of risk management for this firm, and he says, oh yeah, you should talk to Sally over there. You go to Sally and say, hey Sally, John Smith suggested I talk to you. And that will make it even easier to get the second one. Right? And so that's the last step, is to chain these together. So you talk to John Smith, use that to leverage Sally Smith. You ask Sally, Sally says go talk to Jane. So Jane is over here, and you now can start to say things like, Jane, this is really helpful. I'm just doing some research to better understand the risk management space, trying to understand the key challenges. I talked to John Smith from company X, I've talked to Sally from company Y, and here's what their top themes were. What do you think? Right? And that's it. And then repeat. And you'll notice no time in there did I actually ask about a job. No time in there did I say, oh, by the way, I'm looking. Do you have anything? Because that's not the idea. What you're trying to do is build up some credibility, build up some knowledge about the industry, what the key challenges are. And then it will happen organically, because by the time you get to Jane, here's what happens. Jane already knows that you talked to Sally and John. So somehow you've talked to senior executives at 2 other firms. You have a good grasp of the key challenges. You talk about your interest in this space and how you're trying to learn and all the networking you're doing, all the hard work you're doing. And Jane will start to go, wow, this is a very impressive candidate. Someone who seems to have drive, someone who seems to have really good networking skills, because somehow they managed to talk to these other impressive executives. Have you ever thought of working in this space? Right? I know somebody who's actually looking for a new director of risk management. I think you'd be perfect. Would you like to talk to them? And you'll start to have that organic referral, which is exactly what the hidden job market is. Right? And then the second bonus is that if you do get the interview, now you can talk about all this stuff you learned through your networking. Right? So that's how you access the hidden job market. Again, 5 basic steps. 1, find some people you want to talk to, find some targets. 2, ask for informational interviews. 3, come prepared with targeted questions. And again, you're trying to impress them with your knowledge, your homework, and your dedication, and your interest in this space. Nothing about jobs. You leave there. Step 4, ask for some other people that would be worth talking to. And 5, you get in the habit of chaining those conversations together. So you talk about all the different conversations you've had so people can understand the type of network that you have, which will then impress them, which will then lead to them saying, wow, this is somebody that I might be interested in bringing on my team, or if I know somebody else who's hiring, that's what I'm going to do, is refer you over. And that's how the hidden job market works. So what happens if you don't do this? If you don't do this, you don't get access to those jobs, right? Because you don't network, you won't find out what's going on, you won't find out where some of these opportunities are, and you'll have a much smaller knowledge base. So when you do go to the interview, all you have is what they put in the job description. You don't have these other perspectives from other senior leaders that you can bring to the interview. So it's just a lost opportunity, right? The hardest part of this is step 2, is actually reaching out to those people who you don't know, right? They might say no. They absolutely might say no. They might ghost you. They may not respond. But I promise you, if you reach out to 10 of them, somebody will be willing to talk. And the first one is the hardest. As soon as you get one, the second one is that much easier. And eventually this will become comfortable, and you'll start to naturally build your network over time. If you do this for years on end, you have a wonderful network that makes the next opportunity will probably come to you. So what's the exercise? Go reach out to some people, right? Do steps 1, 2, and get the interview. Go talk to them. 3, 4, 5, keep it going. So try it out. Let me know in the comments how it goes. And as always, growing your career is a journey. You can rope in a friend, or you can hire a coach. If you want somebody to help you walk you through this, it's exactly what people work with somebody like me. So if you're interested in talking, please go to drewsaur.com and find some time for us to chat. I look forward to seeing you next time.